everyone, trust we are all great today. Welcome back to Blue Bloom's Artwork channel. This is a world filled with interesting and educative art content for every child out there. I call them my lovies. Also, there are wonderful content for my super awesome teachers and wonderful parents. Last time I talked about the elements of art. If you're yet to see that, please don't hesitate to check it out. So today I'll be talking about the very first and most important element of art, and that is lines. So today we're going to be learning all about lines. We're going to be learning its functions, its qualities, and its types. Yes. If you're yet to subscribe to this wall, please don't hesitate to tap that icon. It's just right there. You want to tap it right? Please do. Thank you so much for subscribing. It does mean a lot. Alright, now let's dive into today's topic. Welcome back again. So I remembered the last time I defined lines as a part of a moving point. Yes, a moving dot. A dot you mark here, and then when you move your hand, the dot moves. Definitely. So line is a part of a moving point. Yes. Do you know it's also a mark made by a tool or an object? Yes, a mark made. So when you write with your biro, you write with your pencil, or you write with a marker, you're making a line. The thickness of a line is defined by the tool used in making the line. So I'll explain that. Now, for example, you used the normal pen, the ballpoint pen, to write. So you use it to write letter A. And then you pick a permanent marker, you use it to write letter A. Sure, the thickness will be different, right? Definitely, because the object you're using to make these lines would define their thickness, because definitely the names are not the same. Yes, line is a symbol that is used to express an idea. Line is the most important element of art. Like I said earlier, it is the most important element of art. Before you can use the other elements of art, line definitely must come first, because we know that for us to bring out that idea in us, to express ourselves visually, we need lines to define the ideas, to visualize that idea. Line has different functions. So what this means is that line can be used to do different things. It can be used for different things. So number one, line is used to define the edges of an object. So for example, you're drawing a box. For you to draw that box, you're using the line to define the edges of the box. Definitely that is what you're going to use to bring out that object. Awesome, right? Now number two, line is used to create a shape and form on a surface, in a space. So when you draw that drum, when you draw that phone, when you draw that portrait, you're using line to create a shape and form in a space. Remember, we talked about form, space, and shape as the other element. So you can see that lines is what is used to define all these other elements, the starting point, the beginning of these other elements. Number three, line is the beginning of any drawing of a design. So if you're creating that repeat pattern, you're creating that design, you're creating that fabric design, definitely line is the beginning. Line is what you will start. You start with that dot and then you move. And by the time you move, you're creating a line. So you need a line to begin a design, to define that design. Number four, line is used to show movement. Movement, yes, movement. Remember, it is the moving of a dot, right? So it means that the more the line goes, the farther, the longer the line goes, it is moving. So for example, water. When you're showing the movement of water, a lot of times we use wavy line to show this. So when you're showing the movement of water, you use lines. So just imagine a lot of movement, you can use lines to show. Number five, Line is calligraphic. It is calligraphic. So I've mentioned
4.
Please keep noting them. Now, line is calligraphic, like it beautifies a surface. It beautifies a surface, and calligraphy simply means beautiful handwriting. How would you be able to how would you be able to create that beautiful handwriting without lines? It's not possible, right? But with lines, you sure can make beautiful calligraphy. In fact, I love calligraphy so much. Now, number 6, line is used to show texture on a surface. It helps to differentiate the surface quality of a material. So, for you to be able to tell whether the surface is rough, the surface is furry, the surface is smooth, line is the one that allows us to be able to tell these differences. For example, the scale of a fish. The scale of a fish. When you see a fish, definitely we will have all said all fishes are the same. But because of lines, we can tell, oh, this particular fish has a very smooth body. This particular fish is very, very scaly. So because of lines, we are able to tell. In fact, because of lines, we are able to tell the scaly part of the fish and then the fin part of the fish. That's the fin, the tail, and then the body itself that is filled with scales. So you can say that with lines, we are able to differentiate the texture of a material. Yes. Now, we go to the qualities of a line. Line have different qualities, and this simply means that line can be described in different ways. That is what it simply means. Lines can be described in different ways. And now this is based on the way line is being used or seen. So what this simply means is that how a line is used determines how that line will be seen. So if the line is used to show movement of water, you definitely know that what you call that line will be different from a line that is used to show land. Will be different from a line that is used to show grass effect, right? So the way a line is used determines the quality of the line, determines the quality of the lines, determine how the line will be seen. So remember, based on this, a line can be thick, a line can be thin, a line can be bold, a line can be continuous, broken, curved, or straight. Yes, a line can be all this. So this takes us to the types of lines. There are 5 major types of lines. So I will start with number 1. Number 1, vertical lines. Like I said, yes, vertical lines. Now, these lines are the lines that start from north to south. They are from north to south. They run from north to south, up to down. So they're just like that. So now these lines can be used to show steadiness, they can be used to show calmness and strong desire. These are the things that vertical lines can be used to show. Now, for example, you're trying to draw a house. Now, obviously, when we are teaching children how to draw a house, we start with using basic shapes. Now, remember that the body of the house, what makes the house stand itself? What makes it house? What makes it a house? Is that rectangle or square, right? So now, what makes that rectangle stand? What makes that square stand is the vertical lines. Remember, 1, 2. Before you then put the other ones that are up and down. So the lines on your right, left, from up, down are vertical lines, and they're actually they're the lines that make that house steady, look firm. Do you understand? So that is why they can be seen along the structure of houses. They are seen in the legs of furniture, and also electric poles. Remember, electric poles, when you see them on the street, you see them up, down, right? Yes. So now we know what we can use vertical lines to express, right? Awesome. So now I go to number 2. Yes, number 2. Now number 2 is horizontal lines. Number 2 is horizontal lines. This is also a line that we are familiar with, right? These are lines that are parallel to the ground. So horizontal line starts from right to left, left to right. That is why they are said to be parallel to the ground, because unlike vertical, that is up to down, north to south, horizontal is right to left, left to right. So horizontal is this way, and that is why I will say that again, that is why they are seen as lines parallel to the ground. The horizontal line is used to show the feelings of peace and stability. Peace and stability. For example, when you have something going and then you have it straight, it's like it's stable, it's peaceful. It's just like running water. When you see water rumbling, going, and the moment the water goes, no wave, you simply say the current of the water now is stable, in the sense that it's not rumbling or splashing. So that is why the horizontal line can be used to show peace, can be used to show stability. Now, these lines can be seen along the upper and lower edges of a board. So what we mean by a board, for example, a drawing board. You have a drawing board, so you have vertical lines and then you have horizontal lines. Horizontal lines up and lower. Awesome. So also it can be found along the lines of the ceiling boards. Along the lines of the ceiling board. So if you have a ceiling board in your house, you can just look up and then you understand what I'm saying about horizontal lines. Awesome. Now we go to number 3. And number 3 is angular line or diagonal line. Yes. Now these lines are also called slanted lines. They are also called slanted lines. Now why they are called slanted lines is because they are tilted. They are lines tilted right or left. They are tilted at an angle. So I'm standing straight, I'm a vertical line, right? My hand is like this, that's a horizontal line. Now for diagonal lines, for slanted lines, they are at an angle. Yes, they are at an angle. So, and this is why they are also called slanted lines. Now, they could be backwards. You can see I'm slanted. They could be forward. I'm slanted. And they could be sideways. Slanted, slanted. But they are never straight. They are never straight. So now, for example, you can use them to show movement. The man is bending forward. That's I'm slanted. She's bending backwards, slanted, sideways, slanted. Like another example is exercise. You know, when you're describing how to move your body, when you're doing some particular movement. So that is what the diagonal line is about. And that is why they are mostly used to show motion. They are mostly used to show motion. So for example, you're watching Tom and Jerry, and Tom is trying to like dive to the roof, and then you just see pa pa. Or those of us that are used to comics, that love to read comics, you definitely see that when you see Superman or Batman trying to save the day, and then while he's trying to fly with his cape, you will see these slanted lines used to show the movement of speed. So slanted lines are awesome lines used for showing motion. And this is so because of the fact that these lines could be in different positions. They could be forward, backwards, or sideways, left or right. Now they can be seen on the stands of some plastic chairs, roof of a house, and so on. So we definitely know diagonal lines when we see them. And then we know that another name for diagonal lines is slanted lines. Beautiful. So now we go to number 4. Yes, number 4. So I've mentioned vertical line, horizontal line, and now I just mentioned diagonal line. So now we go to curved line. Number 4 is curved line. Yes, curved line. Now curved lines are not straight. If we hear the name, we definitely know they are not straight. So vertical, horizontal, diagonal, right? Now for curved line, it goes, yes. So curved line, when you hear the name curved line, you think of a circle. That's the first thing that should come to your mind. So curved lines may form an arc, they could be reversed. So the curved can be reversed to form like wavy. Yes, up, down, up, down. So the first one goes down, the next one goes up, and by the time you continue this line, it forms a wavy line. Now, also curved lines can be continuous. Curved lines can be continuous, where a lot of times children use this to form the grass. So you go 1, 2, like that. And also it could be used to form another wavy effect for water form. So you have 1, 2. So you have those sharp edges pointed up, but the curved part below. So we can see that the beauty of the curved line is that it comes in many forms. But what is major is that it is not a straight line. It is a curved line. It is not a straight line. Now, this line is used to show reading a lot of times because of its flow. So it is used to show reading. It is used to show reading. Curved lines are usually graceful and unstable. Remember, if you have a line that you are using to show up and down, it's curvy, it's this, it's that, definitely it's not stable. It's unlike diagonal line that the moment you have one here, you have one here, you're making your shape. But for curved line, you actually can create a lot of things with that curved line. But remember, it is curved, not straight. And this is why they are found to exist along the handles of buckets. Letter C, the lip. Now you can see my lips, right? 1, 2. In fact, this is why it's one of the moment you can use your curved line to show the form of the lips when you're drawing, it definitely will be easy for you to put the details. Beautiful, right? Yes, such awesome types of lines. So we go to the very last, and this is number 5. And number 5 is zigzag lines. Yes, zigzag lines. Now, these lines are diagonal lines joined together in a continuous manner. So you have 1, 2, and then you have the other one, 3, like that. Now, they are the change that occur in a straight line. So instead of you having the vertical line, the horizontal line, or the diagonal line, for zigzag, you can have 1 and it breaks, 2 and it breaks. So that way it breaks the flow of a straight line. It breaks the flow of a straight line. They have sharp angles joint. They have sharp angular joint compared to other lines. So they have sharp angular joints compared to other lines, unlike curved lines. That for some of its forms, it has the curved line flowing all through. But for zigzag, the angular joints are always pointed. Zigzag lines show feelings of happiness, stress, or confusion. So it is used to show the feelings of happiness, confusion, or stress. Now they can be, and this is why they can be seen in letter Z. They can be seen in letter Z, edges of bread knives, staircase, grasses, and so on. In fact, that makes me remember. You sure do know that this line is one of the best lines of children. When you tell a child to draw a picture, a lot of times if it's an outdoor if it's an outdoor scene, the child wants to draw grass. They love grasses. So, and when they want to do this, the first line that comes to their mind is a zigzag line. Another part where children love to use the zigzag line is the sun. So it's rare before you will see a child draw a sun just with a circle. They are always eager to use the zigzag line they are always eager to use the zigzag line round that circle. Because for them, the sun is shining, so the zigzag shows the rays of light. You see how awesome the zigzag line is too, right? Yes. So we have 5 major types of lines. Yes, I know some people will be like, oh yeah, we have broken lines. Yes, we have thick lines. Yes, we have thin line. Now, the 5 major types of lines are 5. Now, these 5 major types of lines are now the ones that will now be twisted. So we can see that we have 5 major types of lines. Yes, I know some people will be like, oh, but we have thick line, we have thin lines, or we have dot line, broken lines. Now, thin line, thick line, broken lines, dotted lines, these types of lines are forms the 5 major types of lines can take. Remember I said the quality of a line is determined by what is used. The thickness of a line, the thickness of a line is determined by what is used to draw the line, what is used to make the line. So if you say thick line is a type of line on its own, it means that when you see a zigzag line that is thick, is a type of line. When you see, so there will be it's a whole lot of confusion. So what this simply means is that thick line, dotted line, gapped line, thin line, these are qualities of lines. These are ways the lines can be shown. So you can have a zigzag line that is dotted, while you have another zigzag line that is thick, another zigzag line that is gapped, another zigzag line that is thin. So this broken, thick, thin are the qualities of the lines. While the 5 major types we have is vertical, horizontal, angular or diagonal, curved line, and zigzag. Now these lines can also now help us to create other types of lines. For example, remember we said curved line changes form. So curved line can be continuous and twisted to form spiral line. Yes, spiral line. This is the type of line you find on the snail shell. Curved line can be twisted, can be used to create wavy lines. Curved line can be twisted to use to create circular line. This is a type of line that is almost like a circle. So do you understand now? You can use zigzag to create jagged lines. That's the one that the zigzag is not consistent. It is not at the same level. So you can see that you're still using zigzag, but you're using it to recreate another type of line. Yes. So we can see how awesome lines are, right? Yes, how awesome lines are. And we just learned the definition of lines, the functions of lines, the qualities of lines, and the types of lines. Hope we understand now what the 5 major types of lines are. That also we can use these 5 major types of lines to create as much types of lines we want, and how we want our lines to look depends on the quality. Depends on the quality, depends on what we're using to create that line, to show that line. So, what type of line do you find interesting in all these types of lines? Is there any of the qualities that is new to you? Please don't hesitate to put that down in the comment section. Let's discuss, let's talk about this. And your opinions and additions are welcome. Please don't hesitate. Please don't hesitate. It's an interactive session and I would really love your comments. Yes, it will be so helpful. Thank you so very much. Would you like to create a design with these lines? Please, if you want me to have that session before we talk about the next element of art, please don't hesitate to also drop that in the comment section. Please don't hesitate to do. Alright, we'll see you next time. Bye!